Hello, I hope that whatever time of day you are watching this video, you are doing well. I'm so excited to welcome you to the Lean and Confident Full Body Recovery Masterclass. Over my past 7 years of really guiding now over 130 people in their health and fitness journeys, I have learned the importance of proper recovery, and really the consequences of what happens if your stretching and recovery methods don't match how hard you're working, especially when you really want a goal really bad. If you saw today's post, I talked about my journey with that in my dance career, and it translates directly to my journey with bodybuilding now. So, with that being said, I'm going to teach you a full body routine with some foam rolling strategies and stretches that you can do daily or at least 3 to 5 days per week that are going to help improve your flexibility, your range of motion in the gym and in your daily life, and hopefully relieve some pain from you as well. And this training does come with a checklist, which is going to be on Google Sheets. So I'm going to get that posted in the group for you guys. But the way I would just use this checklist is to just go ahead and check mark off all the stretches and recovery exercises that you've done every day of the week. It's super cool. I'm super excited to share that with you. So let's get started. We're bringing it down low for these first series of recovery exercises. This is all about rolling out. Rolling out is great for stretching out your myofascia, which covers all of your muscles, and just digging out some knots and just relieving a lot of tension. It's really like giving yourself a massage. So for all of these exercises, I'm going to recommend that you choose to do at least each one for 1 minute. And so we're going to start with learning how to roll out our back. So you'll need a foam roller. You can get them on Amazon. If someone needs me to drop a link in the comments, I will. I like the longer ones here, but basically, you want to start by positioning yourself where the lowest part of your back is on the foam roller and you're somewhere in the middle. And then from there, you can plant your feet because you're going to need to put weight on it. And you're going to put your hands behind you. Lean back onto the foam roller. Now, your job, you're going to get a workout from this, don't worry, is going to be to walk yourself using your feet all the way up until just before you get to your neck. Do not roll out your neck. And then use your feet to walk yourself till you get all the way to the lower back. You can get those elbows involved. You can't see me if you need to, but yeah, doing this for 1 minute will feel amazing. And it's the first thing that's on the checklist. So the second thing that we're gonna learn how to roll out is our hamstrings. So actually you can start in a similar position to what we did for the back rollout. You want to start with your butt basically on the foam roller, and you're going to walk back your hands. From there, you can just let your body weight sink into the roller, and I'm walking my hands back until just before I get to my knees, and then I'm walking my hands forward. You can scoot your feet if you need to get back. So going back and forth of this, get a lot of tension out, relieve a lot of pain, dig out a lot of knots in the hamstrings and glutes. I'll show you this way so you can see what happens with my hands. So I'm sitting on it with my butt. Let's scoot it back this way for a second. Okay, perfect. I'm walking my hands back. There's weight mostly on my legs, on the back of my legs. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that we need to learn how to roll out. See, and I'm checking my sheet that I made for you guys. You're gonna love it, I swear. That's 1 minute as well. Is going to be the calf. So a lot of times our calves get really tight from running, leg day, doing calf exercises. I mean, they hold a lot of tension on our body, so we got to give them some love. So actually, go ahead and start this time sitting on your butt with your feet at the base of the foam roller, as far down as you can get close to your ankles. Lifting your weight up into your hands, you're going to walk forward, rolling your weight and the foam roller all the way to the top of your calves to just before you roll your knees, and then you can just reverse the motion to come back, going back and forth like this, sticking, really digging into the points that feel like they're giving you a lot of grief for 1 whole minute. I'm going to turn around so you can see what happens with my hands and how I position my body, scooting down so there's a little more depth in the camera. Starting with the base again, I'm coming up, I'm walking forward, digging the foam roller into my calves, and I'm walking back to return down to the ankles. Again, 1 minute on that, guys. That's gonna feel great. and love all this upper body work, checking the thing. The next thing that we have to roll is our quads. This, guys, you're in for such a treat. It's gonna be amazing. It's the top of your legs, really. Think leg extensions and all that stuff. If you do this the smart way, you can get a lot of love in your hip flexors as well. So what you wanna do is this time, place that hip folder on the ground, right at that base of your hips, just below your belly button. And I'm gonna scoot back so you can see more depth. But from that position, letting your legs just hang back, it's like you're in a plank, walking your elbows forward till you get to the top of the knees, going down and back, just like this. You can do that for a minute. Really, again, spending some extra time going into places where you really notice there's a lot of tightness. It's giving you a lot of pain. And I talked about this in my post last week, so this is a perfect transition to get into the IT bands, which are responsible for external rotation. This is a big culprit in knee pain and squats and a host of other problems. So it's turning sideways this time, right? Both my legs were on the foam roller. Now I just shifted. For me, it's my left leg. And I'm gonna do the same thing, letting my weight be on both legs, using my elbow and my hand to walk forward until I'm edging that foam roller down towards my knee, and then reversing the motion until I can come all the way up to my hip and the side of my butt. Depending on however spicy I'm feeling, you can switch sides. You can do 30 seconds on each side if you want to. Honestly, this is something that I would do 1 minute on each side because it gives you a lot of grief when you don't take care of it. And you can really be pain-free in this area if you choose to allow yourself to have that experience. So we've covered everything on the foam rolling end. Foam rolling, if you don't do it now regularly, is gonna change your life. So definitely implement this and give me feedback on how it's going for you. Look out for the stretches coming next. Alrighty, I've got an outfit change. I'm ready for the stretching part of this flexibility and recovery checklist. So I like to start from the bottom up. So we're gonna actually start by stretching our calves. So many ways to do this. This is the way that I like to do. First is with a straight leg. And you can sit however you need to sit and even lean to make sure you keep the leg straight, but the straight leg is important to get the most out of this stretch. You can reach your hands, I'll turn sideways, over to the balls of your feet and just pull that foot towards your waist, towards your torso. You'll really feel the one part of the calf, 30 seconds at least on this part. And then the second part of this stretch, you'll bend your legs this time and do the same thing. Feet, hands over the balls of your feet, pulling back. You'll notice a much higher stretch. So there's two parts of your calf you can't see, but there's this kind of part that's deep that inserts here, and then there's a thicker, more superficial part on the out. By getting this stretch with a straight leg and a bent leg, you'll really be able to stretch the full range of the calf. All right, so we got calves down, easy peasy. The next thing we're gonna stretch is our hips. So when we think about hips, we have to think about muscles and joints, okay? So we have to create space in the joint as well as stretching the muscles involved there. So a great stretch for both is actually this butterfly. You may remember doing this with a kid, pressing the soles of your feet together. It is absolutely okay if they open up a bit once you're finally in the stretch position, letting your hips fall naturally and scooching your butt in towards your heels as tall as you can. Pro version is just letting it, normal version is just letting it hang down like this, holding onto your feet. And your goal in this position really should be to feel both sit bones, so the pointy part of your butt just pressing into the ground, and then feeling your spine nice and long out of the top of your head as you sit. To get a little extra love, I really feel this, by the way, in my hips, the joints, and in the hip flexors here. And to really deepen the stretch, you can pull up and over out of your hips until you're actively pulling your face, your spine, your chest towards your feet, collapsing at the head to relax. So that's a great stretch for the hips. Do that obviously for at least a minute. All right, so the next thing that we want to stretch, hip flexor. This is the cause of a lot of pain, especially for my men, especially for people who sit a long time, and can really cause you a limited range of motion in your squats and a lot of lower body movements in general. So multiple ways to do this stretch. I'm going to teach the easiest one today, getting into a lunge. Keys to success in a lunge is really, first of all, making sure both of your hips are square, which means pointing towards the same direction. You see my knees there and there, I'm not square. You see I'm doing all this, I'm not square. Right here we're square, hips pointing in the same direction, 90-degree angle, sinking forward over that front foot. You can have those hands down like this, And for me, this feels too shallow for me to feel a stretch in my hip flexor. So when this knee is in front, this is the hip flexor that's gonna be stretching. And then once you've got a good space between your feet to where you can keep your heels on the ground but still find some stretch, press your back glute. You can squeeze that glute and press forward as you can to deepen into the stretch. Once again, making sure we're holding this for at least a minute, or if you're in a time crunch, you can always do 30 seconds on each side. All right, so the next thing that we have to stretch is our quads. Quads, a muscle in the front of the legs. And don't worry, I know I'm going a little fast, but you're welcome to rewatch this video as many times as you need. Muscles in the front of your legs, heavily involved in squats and lunges. When these get really, really tight, that is another huge culprit of knee pain. So no need to leave those tight. I'm gonna teach a simple one for this. So to stretch out the right quads, you're opposite of me, but that's okay. You wanna bend your right leg back like this. So I'll show you from the side so you can really see. Knee is pointed the same direction as my hip, foot's to the side. If you have some weird knee experience things happening in this position, you can go ahead and let that foot be wider to get a little relief there. If you're more flexible, that's fine too. But then once you find that position of the right leg, go ahead and extend the left leg forward like this. So for some people, boom, magic, this is already a great stretch. Really focusing like we were on the butterfly, keeping both sit bones in the ground. And then if you need to take this a little deeper, I'm gonna go sideways so you can see, you can either lean back onto your hands. So I'll scoot up so you can see my upper body position. Next level would be to lean back onto your elbows. And if you're feeling really flexible, you can lay all the way back on the ground like this, but really don't do this if you get here, and you can kind of see in the camera right now, my right knee is off the ground, which is not the point. So I would come up a little bit till here until that knee can stay on the ground in that position, but make sure you do that for at least 30 seconds on each side. Great stretch for the quads. The next thing that we have to cover is the hamstrings. I've taught this so many ways, okay? So I'm gonna teach from the side this way. We've done one, I did a video standing up, we'll do the same thing sitting down this way. So level one, sitting, feeling both sit bones in the ground. We're nice and long and tall from our spine. Our legs are straight. Key element here, keeping the legs straight, reaching up towards those toes. If you can do this and there's no stretch in the position, obviously go ahead and reach and grab the toes. You can even, like we did in the calf stretch, reach all the way over and grab the top of the toes. I'm gonna turn sideways to give you some multiple perspectives on this, but really, the way that you milk the stretch and make it more advanced is instead of collapsing over, which will get deep or superficial hamstrings, really finding a way to pull longer and longer as you get into that stretch. So 1 minute for that. Each side, great start. So the next thing that we have is a straddle. Great for your inner thighs, right? So when you do a lot of this side to side motions, if you play hockey like one of my clients, the straddle is the thing that is so essential. So whether you are a dancer and you're all the way out here or you have to be a little closer, it's okay. Goal number one in a straddle, dancers call this a middle split as well, is finding your legs open to wherever makes sense to you. I don't need to go crazy far for the purpose of this video. And then finding your sit bones, both sit bones again, touching into the ground. Once this feels really comfortable, if you need some help, you can put your hands right behind your back so that you're able to pull up and out of the top of your head like this and find some length in this position. And you can slowly scoot your feet more and more open. Yeah, and then just press on a little bit more. I would say hold that for at least a minute. Honestly, if you want to see that position grow, hold it for 2 minutes. Sorry, not sorry. All right, we're almost done with the lower body. Moving on to stretch the back and the abs, the next position is going to be a cobra. So let's go. You'll lay on your stomach. I'm going to go slightly sideways so you can see and scooch back here. Hands starting right at the side of your shoulders or your chest, depending on how flexible you are. Keeping your hips on the ground, letting your butt stay relaxed, and actively lengthening through the spine. You'll find yourself in this position just like this. You'll feel your abs open up, you'll feel your spine stretch, staying nice and long, not letting your glutes clench up too much. You're gonna hang out here for at least a minute, and that's a great stretch once again for the lower back and the core. All right, let's change the angle a little bit. There are so many ways to do this, but the next thing that I want us to stretch is our chest and our shoulders. So one of my favorites I'll show you first is works great if you have access to a bench or some sort of one of those poles or even a broomstick. So if you're laying on a bench, What you would do is lay all the way down, grab a slight distance outside of your shoulders onto the bench, and then find a way to sit up and let your shoulders fall through. I really feel this in my anterior delts, as well as the insertion of my pecs or my chest muscles as well. And I would hold this for at least a minute. If you don't have something that you can hold on to like this from home, one thing that's super easy to do is you can put your hand on a wall. Actually, I'll just show you on the wall. So come with me, you'll put your hand on a wall like this, and then you'll twist, keeping your arm straight away from the wall as far as you can until you start feeling that stretch in the same place. So I really still feel this in the shoulder and my chest, and I would hold this for at least 30 seconds on each side, ideally a minute. And I think the last stretch, we can just have a couple more. I want you to be able to stretch your rhomboids as well. So rhomboids, this muscle right in between your shoulder blades. A lot of people feel that spasm if they're doing a lot of Olympic lifting or things like that. So you want to find a wall, a pole, or a stick. Let me adjust the angle for you. Something that you can grab. The best way to show you is like this, inside, and this time it's the opposite of what you were doing for your shoulder. So you're grabbing it, it's slightly down, it's slightly below your chest, and you're twisting away with that inner arm. So I'll set it up the other way so you can see the view. I grab the pole. This would be the same thing if you put your hand on a wall or you have a friend grab you. You turn away from it like this and you twist. And you can even see in this camera how my shoulder blades are separating from the center of my spine and going in the direction of my hand, which is the goal. At least 1 minute for that. All righty. Okay, so we're getting close. So I dropped you, no worries. We don't gotta be perfect here. We just gotta learn what works. So one of the last things that I wanna work with you on is a great stretch for your lats. So you will either need a doorway that you can grab onto, or ideally if you have a pull-up bar or something, this works great. Both hands as wide as you can on that bar. You're just gonna let yourself hang. If your bar is really high, you can put like a little stool or something under your feet to really, don't make this about doing a workout where you're holding your entire body weight. Make this about letting your shoulder blades rise and using your weight to feel your lats. The big muscles, your big wings in your back, just stretch out and relieve some of that tension. This is gonna feel amazing if you haven't done it in a while. And you could add some back into it by pushing your chest through like this, letting your head fall back. I really feel the bottom of my rib cage open up like this. And I'll give you the pro tweak. You can use one arm to lean it in a little more, feel it higher in the lats, more on the side. You can twist away. So many fun ways to get a great stretch out of this. Just looking at my check here, so we all know, the last thing that I want to empower you with is a tool to stretch your wrists and forearms. This gives people so much strife as they become new lifters, as you're holding onto the barbell more, as you're starting to hit new PR. So, arm straight, hand out in front of you, stop in the name of love. For 30 seconds, you can pull your fingers back towards you. You'll really feel this part of your arm stretching. You can also put your hands on the ground and kneel and do this. And then making sure to even it out, you'll pull your fingers towards you, having your hand going the other way, feeling that stretch over this part of the arms, the top of the arms, holding for that at least 30 seconds as well. So yeah, so many tools that you get to work with inside of this resource. Make sure you download that checklist, save it on your phone, print it out, whatever you got to do, and check off the stretches after you've done them. And give me your biggest takeaway in this comment. I hope this helps you guys, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. Talk soon.